Her name was Lily, though she had stopped telling people that because names made things personal, and personal things hurt more when they were ignored. She had learned early how to disappear into herself. Her mother had vanished years before, swallowed by addiction and bad decisions, leaving Lily behind in a system that moved her from house to house like a misplaced object. Some homes were cold, others loud, none felt safe. Eventually, she ran. Running felt better than waiting to be forgotten again. At first, she told herself it would only be for a few days. She had a backpack with clothes, an old hoodie, and $10 she'd saved from a school fundraiser long ago. She slept at bus stations, under bridges, anywhere the shadows felt thick enough to hide her. Hunger came in waves, but pride kept her from asking for help. Each day without food made it harder to think clearly, harder to hope. By the fifth day, hope was a luxury she could no longer afford. Across the street from where Lily sat was a man who noticed what others had trained themselves not to see. His name was Daniel, a single father in his mid-30s with tired eyes and a posture shaped by responsibility. He worked long shifts at a warehouse and spent the rest of his energy raising his 8-year-old son, Noah. Life had not been gentle with him either. His wife had passed away suddenly 3 years earlier, leaving him to navigate grief and parenthood alone. Still, he moved through the world with a quiet steadiness, the kind that came from knowing what it meant to lose everything that mattered. Daniel noticed Lily because she reminded him of something he could not forget. She looked like someone waiting for permission to exist. Her clothes were thin, her face pale, and her eyes held that hollow distance he had seen in mirrors during his darkest nights. He slowed his steps, hesitated, then crossed the street, guided by an instinct he had learned to trust since becoming a father. Lily barely registered his presence at first. Adults usually walked past, eyes forward, pretending she was part of the pavement. But something about the way he stopped, not looming, not demanding, but simply existing near her, made her look up. Her vision blurred from dizziness, and she had to focus hard to keep the world from tilting. Daniel did not interrogate her or overwhelm her with questions. He sat on the step a short distance away, matching her level, careful not to scare her. He saw the way her hands shook, the way she swallowed like her throat was dry, the way her breathing was shallow. He understood hunger in a way that went beyond missing a meal. He understood it as absence, as fear, as shame. He left for a moment and returned with a bag from the small diner down the street. The smell alone made Lily's stomach twist painfully. She hesitated, pride warring with survival, but her body betrayed her before her mind could. She accepted the food with hands that barely worked, tears blurring her vision as she ate slowly, savoring each bite like it might be the last kindness she ever received. That meal did not fix everything. It did not erase years of neglect or the ache of abandonment. But it cracked something open inside her. It reminded her that warmth still existed, that care could arrive without conditions. Daniel did not leave after she finished eating. He stayed, listening as she spoke in fragments, piecing together a story of foster homes, running away, and days spent pretending she did not exist. He did not interrupt or judge. He simply absorbed her words, his chest tightening with each one. When he finally made his decision, it was not impulsive. It was the result of years of learning that love often demanded courage disguised as risk. He told her, gently but firmly, that she was not going back to the streets that night. He told her to gather what little she had because she was coming with him. Lily froze. Offers like that came with strings, with expectations she could not meet. Her mind raced through every warning she had ever learned. But when she looked at him, she did not see hunger or desire or control. She saw exhaustion and sincerity. She saw someone who knew pain and still chose kindness. Daniel's home was small, cluttered with toys and laundry and the signs of a life lived honestly. Noah greeted them with curious eyes and an immediate smile, the kind children offer before the world teaches them fear. Lily stood awkwardly near the door, unsure where to place herself, unsure how long this illusion would last. That night, she slept in a real bed for the first time in months. The sheets were clean, the room warm. She cried silently into the pillow, overwhelmed by the unfamiliar safety. Sleep came heavy and deep, carrying her somewhere she had not been in a long time, peace. The days that followed were not magically easy. Lily woke up each morning expecting to be told to leave. She flinched at raised voices, apologized too much, ate like food might disappear if she didn't. Daniel noticed everything but pushed nothing. He let her move at her own pace, understanding that trust was not built with promises but with consistency. Noah, in his innocent way, became the bridge Lily did not know she needed. He asked her to play board games, showed her his favorite cartoons, and accepted her presence without question. Around him, she began to laugh again, softly at first, like testing a sound she had forgotten how to make. Daniel worked quietly behind the scenes, contacting social services, navigating legal complexities, determined to do things the right way. The system moved slowly, full of paperwork and skepticism, but he persisted. He knew that loving someone also meant protecting them long-term. Lily struggled with guilt. She felt like a burden, like an interruption in a life already heavy with responsibility. Some nights, she packed her bag, convinced she should disappear before she caused damage. Each time, Daniel noticed. He never scolded. He simply reminded her through actions that she was wanted, that she mattered. Winter passed into spring. Lily returned to school, nervous but determined. The teachers noticed the change, the way her eyes held light again, the way she raised her hand cautiously, as if asking permission to hope. She began to dream about a future she had never allowed herself to imagine. Daniel watched it all with quiet pride. He never called himself a hero. He saw himself as a father doing what needed to be done, not just for Lily, but for the man he wanted his son to become. He taught Noah that kindness was not weakness, that love expanded rather than divided. There were setbacks. Nightmares returned. Panic attacks surfaced unexpectedly. Some days, Lily withdrew, old fears clawing their way back. But now, she did not face them alone. She learned that healing was not a straight line, that progress could coexist with pain. One evening, months later, Lily stood in the doorway of the kitchen, watching Daniel help Noah with homework. The scene was ordinary, unremarkable to anyone else. But to her, it was everything. It was stability. It was proof that families could be chosen, that love could be built from broken pieces. Just before the story reaches its end, take a moment to comment below. Tell us what kindness means to you, or share a time when someone changed your life with a single decision. Your words might become someone else's hope. The legal process eventually recognized what their hearts already knew. Lily had found a home. Not because she was rescued, but because she was accepted. She was not a project or a problem. She was a daughter, a sister, a person worthy of care. Years later, Lily would look back on that 5th day without food as the moment her life pivoted. Not because of the hunger, but because of the man who noticed her, who chose compassion over convenience. She would carry that lesson into her own life, becoming someone who looked for the invisible, who understood that saving someone did not require perfection, only presence.